Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. If you were hoping Week 1 would bring a new dawn for Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins, Sunday quickly reminded you that hope alone doesn't win football games. From the very first snap, it was clear that Tagovailoa wasn't just having an off day. He was unraveling in real time, showing all the cracks in his game that have haunted him since he first stepped onto an NFL field. The stat line: under 200 passing yards, multiple interceptions, 0 touchdowns, tells part of the story, but it barely scratches the surface. The real issue wasn't the numbers. It was how he played, or more accurately, how he didn't play. There was hesitation in his motions, uncertainty in his reads, and a lack of the kind of confidence that separates a true franchise quarterback from someone just trying to survive the moment. From the opening drive, Tua looked rattled. On his very first possession, he threw a basic interception, missing an open read completely and gifting the Colts points that would ultimately decide the momentum of the game. It wasn't a clever defensive play that baited him. It was a fundamental error, a basic misstep that a quarterback at this level should not make. Later in the half, under even modest pressure, he panicked, forcing another throw directly into the arms of a defender. By the fourth quarter, desperation had completely taken over his game. Tua was lobbing passes into traffic with no chance of completion, hanging the ball in the air, hoping for miracles that never came. Every errant throw, every misread, every lapse of judgment painted the same picture. When the game speeds up, when defenses disguise coverages, when the pocket collapses, he crumbles. This pattern is familiar. It's not new, and it's not a one-off fluke that can be ignored. It's the same hesitation, the same lack of arm strength on deep throws, the same shaky decision-making under pressure that has plagued Tagovailoa for years. Drive after drive, he failed to elevate the offense. Checkdowns came short of the sticks, opportunities to take shots downfield were abandoned, and momentum swung back to the Colts at every turn. Miami invested heavily in trying to mold Tua into the franchise quarterback he was supposed to become. They built an offensive line to protect him, surrounded him with weapons, and even adjusted schemes to compensate for his weaknesses. But Sunday laid bare a fundamental truth. He isn't progressing. He isn't learning. He isn't growing into the role he has been handed. And the implications extend beyond just a single loss. Quarterbacks at this level are expected to carry their team, to make plays when it matters most, to elevate their offense even when things get messy. Tagovailoa didn't just fail to meet those expectations, he actively deflated them. His performance wasn't just disappointing, it was instructive. Every interception, every hesitation, every incomplete pass served as a reminder that the Dolphins' supposed answer under center may never truly be an answer at all. For a team chasing playoff relevance in a division that is only getting tougher, the margin for error is slim. Yet here we are, seeing the same old flaws replayed in front of a national audience. Flaws that have followed Tua from his college days at Alabama to the professional stage without meaningful improvement. Fans, analysts, and even casual observers can debate mechanics, offensive schemes, or coaching decisions. But the truth is stark. Tagovailoa's Week 1 collapse was not a coaching issue. It was a quarterback issue. It was the same faltering footwork, the same slow reads, the same inability to handle pressure that has defined his career. And the psychological element cannot be overstated. A quarterback who panics in the pocket and forces throws under duress becomes a liability every time the defense closes in. Confidence evaporates, timing slips, and even the best play designs become irrelevant when the guy running them is frozen in critical moments. On Sunday, Tua wasn't just struggling. He was shrinking from the challenge. Miami's investment in Tagovailoa has been extensive, both in terms of draft capital and financial resources. The organization has shown patience, tried coaching tweaks, and built around him in ways designed to mask or mitigate his shortcomings. They even went so far as to tailor offensive schemes that prioritize short, high-percentage throws to limit exposure. Yet, none of these accommodations changed the outcome when the stakes were highest. In fact, they may have papered over issues for so long that Sunday's failure felt inevitable, a reckoning for a franchise hoping its quarterback could eventually rise to the occasion. The sad reality is that no matter how polished the system or how gifted his supporting cast, the core problem remains Tua himself. Week 1 was supposed to be a reset, a chance to prove that Miami could move forward with confidence in its quarterback. Instead, it offered a painful reminder that history tends to repeat itself. Tagovailoa's mistakes weren't minor, they weren't flukes. They were symptomatic of a player whose ceiling may never align with the expectations of a team that needs a true leader under center. Each errant throw and failed drive reinforced a narrative that Dolphins fans have feared for years, that their so-called franchise quarterback might never truly be capable of leading them to sustained success. There's a larger lesson here, and it's uncomfortable. Every missed opportunity, every botched read, every lapse in judgment feeds a cycle of doubt that will be difficult to break. Until Miami faces this reality head-on, until the organization accepts that Tagovailoa may not be the long-term answer, the team risks repeating this pattern over and over again. Talent around him can only compensate so much. Ultimately, victories in the NFL require a quarterback who can command an offense, make split-second decisions under pressure, and inspire confidence through action, not just potential. And on Sunday, Tua demonstrated that he is not, at least for now, capable of meeting that standard. This is not just about a single game. It's about a franchise confronting its identity and facing hard truths about its future. The Dolphins have spent years trying to mold a quarterback who can deliver at the highest level, yet time and again, the cracks reappear. Week 1 was a microcosm of a larger problem: hesitation, poor judgment, and an inability to perform when the pressure is highest. The pattern is consistent, the concerns are real, and the window for Miami to act is finite. For the fans, the frustration is palpable. For the coaching staff, the challenge is urgent. And for Tua, the question remains whether he can ever transform those moments of panic into decisive, confident play that can carry this team forward. Until then, Tagovailoa's name will continue to serve less as a symbol of hope and leadership and more as a reminder of opportunities squandered. Each week that passes without growth reinforces the same troubling narrative. For a team and fan base that has dreamed of Super Bowl contention, it is a harsh reality check. Talent and potential do not always equate to results. And as long as Tua remains the signal caller, the Dolphins may find themselves trapped in a cycle of frustration, rebuilding, and unrealized promise, forced to confront an uncomfortable truth that has haunted the franchise for too long. Sometimes, the quarterback you hope will be your savior is, in reality, the biggest problem standing in the way of victory. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? Big news is shaking the NFL world, and if you're a fan of explosive offenses, you're going to want to sit down for this one. Confirmed reports have just surfaced that Noah Fant, the dynamic and versatile tight end known for his incredible athleticism and game-changing ability, has officially signed with the Miami Dolphins. Yes, you heard that right. Noah Fant is now a Dolphin, and the implications for the team's aerial attack are nothing short of seismic. Rumors had been swirling for weeks about Miami's pursuit of Fant, with whispers around the league hinting that the Dolphins were ready to do whatever it took to land him. Now, those whispers have become reality, and the excitement among Dolphins fans is practically palpable. Imagine the combination of Fant lining up alongside Tyreek Hill, Devontae Parker, and the arm of Tua Tagovailoa. It's a nightmare matchup for any defense in the league, and the chatter online is already blowing up with speculation about how this signing could redefine Miami's offensive identity. The speculation around Fant had reached fever pitch, and insiders suggest that multiple teams were in hot pursuit, including franchises with historically strong passing games. Yet, Miami's persistence and vision seemed to win out in the end. Sources close to the negotiations hint that the Dolphins' front office viewed Fant not just as a tight end, but as a transformational weapon capable of stretching the field, creating mismatches, and opening up the offense in ways that few players in the league can. There's a sense of urgency and ambition in Miami that's driving this signing. A clear statement that they're not just here to compete. They're here to dominate. And the excitement is contagious. From the moment Fant steps onto Hard Rock Stadium's turf, every defensive coordinator across the league will be forced to rethink their game plan, because Fant isn't just another player. He's an athletic marvel, a player whose combination of size, speed, and hands makes him a nightmare in the red zone and a constant deep threat option downfield. Insiders suggest that Miami sees FANT as the perfect complement to their existing offensive weapons, a player who can seamlessly fit into a high-octane passing scheme, while also providing flexibility in motion and play design. The rumor mill has been relentless in the past few weeks, with talk of FANT potentially turning Miami's offense into one of the most feared in the NFL. Analysts and fans alike are already debating how head coach Mike McDaniel will integrate him. Will FANT line up as a traditional tight end, creating mismatches against linebackers? Will he be motioned out wide to exploit coverage mismatches against safeties? Or will McDaniel unleash a hybrid scheme that keeps defenses guessing on every snap? The possibilities are endless, and the sheer excitement has created a buzz that feels almost like the preseason hype for a Super Bowl contender. Social media has erupted with reaction videos, mock highlights, and even speculative play diagrams, as fans imagine FANT hauling in sideline-breaking catches while Tua delivers his pinpoint passes with the kind of precision that only he seems capable of. The deal itself, while not officially disclosed in every detail, is rumored to be highly favorable, reflecting FANT's elite skill set and the Dolphins' clear desire to make a statement in the free agent market. Some sources hint at incentives tied to performance metrics, big play contributions, and even postseason benchmarks, signaling Miami's intention to maximize FANT's potential on the field. What's particularly fascinating is the strategic nature of this acquisition. The Dolphins have been known for their meticulous offensive planning, and FANT's arrival seems like the missing puzzle piece in what analysts are already calling one of the most dynamic offensive units in recent memory. Observers are noting that FANT's ability to threaten defenses both vertically and horizontally changes the equation entirely, creating space for not just the receivers, but also for Tua to operate with more freedom in the pocket. It's an offense built to be explosive, unpredictable, and, most importantly, difficult to defend. Rumors have also suggested that the locker room chemistry is already buzzing in anticipation of FANT's arrival. Sources indicate that key players have reached out to FANT personally, welcoming him to the team and hinting at the immediate bond that is expected to form. This isn't just about skill. It's about leadership, versatility, and a player who can bring energy and intensity week after week. Analysts are already speculating that FANT's presence could elevate the entire offensive unit, forcing defenses to rethink matchups in real time and providing Tua with a weapon who can consistently win in one-on-one situations. The narrative is building that FANT could be the X factor that Miami has been seeking, a player capable of tipping the scales in tight games and giving the Dolphins the edge they need to make a deep playoff push. What's particularly intriguing in the chatter is how FANT's signing might influence the draft and other roster decisions moving forward. Speculative discussions suggest that with FANT now in the fold, Miami may pivot their strategy to further bolster the offensive line or add additional depth to the receiving core, maximizing the potential of this new explosive weapon. There's even talk that defenses might start stacking the box against Miami's run game. But that's exactly where FANT's versatility becomes a game changer. Whether split out wide, in line, or in motion, he can create instant mismatches and open up the field in ways that force defensive coordinators to choose between covering him or respecting the rest of Miami's arsenal. The ripple effects of this signing are being felt league-wide, with rival teams scrambling to adjust and speculate on how this could shift the balance of power in the AFC. Fans are, of course, ecstatic, flooding social media with highlight reels of FANT's previous seasons, dissecting his best plays, and envisioning what he can do in a Dolphins uniform. The excitement isn't just about a single player. It's about the broader vision of a Miami offense that is now armed with arguably one of the most complete and versatile tight ends in the league. Rumors have suggested that the Dolphins' offensive staff is already working on specific schemes tailored to FANT's skill set, integrating him into both short yardage and deep threat packages, as well as trick plays and creative motion concepts that could leave defenses flat-footed. The sense of anticipation is almost tangible, with every practice, snap, and preseason game now taking on a new level of importance. Fans, analysts, and insiders alike are bracing for a season where FANT could redefine what it means to be a dual-threat tight end in today's NFL. In the broader context, FANT's move to Miami represents more than just a signing. It's a bold statement about the Dolphins' ambitions. It signals a team that is unwilling to settle for mediocrity, a team that is actively pursuing the kind of talent that can transform games and redefine the offensive landscape. The rumors and chatter suggest that the league is watching closely, wondering if Miami has just pulled off a move that could propel them into the conversation for a championship contender. As analysts pore over film, fans debate starting lineups, and rival teams adjust their defensive schemes, one thing is clear: Noah Fant's arrival in Miami is more than a signing. It's a seismic shift, a ripple through the NFL that will be felt on Sundays for months to come. And as we sit on the edge of our seats, imagining the catches, the blocks, the game-changing plays, one thing is undeniable. The Dolphins just added a weapon capable of changing the trajectory of their season, and the rumor mill we've all been following for weeks has finally delivered in spectacular fashion. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.